This is an automatic tree farm. It works with 4 different types of wood and it gets you 10,000 plus oak logs an hour. Now, what exactly is automatic about this tree farm? Well, the leaves automatically get crushed, the logs automatically come forward, and then they automatically get blown up by the TNT, and then we can automatically collect them up. You do, however, need to AFK in here, and I'm going to show you guys at the end of this video how to AFK in here without even using a plugin or a different piece of software. I'm going to explain how this farm works. I'm going to give you a materials list, and then we're going to build it block by block. So the farm is now off. So to actually use this farm, you come up here, you turn on the lever, and then you just stand in here and hold down right click on the dirt right there. Now, if you want to AFK at this thing and you don't want to sit here and hold down right click, what you can do is keep the right click held down and then press F3 and T at the same time. And then that's going to refresh the audio settings and the texture packs and everything like that. And it'll also keep your right click held down. So now I'm no longer holding down the right click and this farm is just running automatically. So now that I have my camera account back in there, I'll show you guys what happens here. So we have a power source going into the block where the tree grows. So as soon as that sapling turns into a log, it'll send power down below into this piston right here. This piston is then powered. It pushes the redstone block forward, which then powers both these double piston extender arms that break all the leaves. All the saplings, all the sticks, all the apples will get collected up by the hoppers down below. They come into this dispenser and get shot back into the player, so that the player never runs out of the saplings. When the tree grows and it triggers this piston down below, it also powers this double piston extender, which then pushes all of the logs forward and then out into the area where they get blown up and then collected. Now, when you turn on the machine, it also sends power up into this hopper timer up here, which then powers the TNT duplicator. The thing you are going to need a lot of is bone meal. So you're definitely going to have a bone meal farm that is powering this thing. You're going to need a lot of bone meal, turning all of the saplings into trees. Here are the rates, the 4 different types of logs that you can collect with this farm. You can go ahead and pause the video here if you want to see the rates. Here's the dimensions of the farms if you guys wanted to know. It's 21 long, 16 wide, and then 21 tall. Also show all the materials that you need to build this farm on the screen right now. You can go ahead and pause this and get all the materials. I put a lot of time and effort into this video, and I would really appreciate it if you left a like and subscribed. It helps us grow the channel, and it also helps people find the useful farms that I make. So once you've chosen an area to build this thing and you know you have enough room, the first thing we're going to start with is a block of dirt, and we need to put that 3 off the ground just like that. Now, if you're in survival, you're probably going to have to pillar up here to get this piece of dirt in here. And then once you're up here, then you can put a dropper facing upwards just like that, and then a dispenser just like that. Now we can come down off the ground, and then we're going to make a little staircase with building blocks just like that. I'm going to use iron blocks just because it's easy to see how many I'm using. And then we're going to put an observer one like that, and then another like that. We're actually going to remove that one, and then we're going to make an observer clock. Then we need to go ahead and put a sticky piston in the ground right there. Now let's go ahead and dig out these 2 blocks right here. We can go ahead and put our iron block right there. And then we need a redstone torch right there. For now, just temporarily, let's go ahead and power this block just so that we can turn off the observer clock. Now you're going to have to tower back up to the area where we're actually going to be growing the tree. This is where we're going to be growing the tree right here, which means that we're going to be standing 1-2 blocks away, and then we're going to be 1 block below where the tree actually grows right here. So now that we know where exactly we're going to be standing, we can go ahead and take out those temporary blocks. We can also put a dropper facing into ourselves just like that. And now we need to put in a lot of hoppers facing into that dropper, circling around this dispenser right here that is going to be actually feeding bone meal into our saplings. So we can just fill in 2 away, 2 out every direction from this dirt block. Going into the hoppers, going into that dropper. But then right here, we actually need to set another line of hoppers going into the dropper down here, which then feeds into the dispenser. Now this is going to have all of our bone meal in it, and we're going to put all our bone meal in a chest over here. So let's continue the hoppers on the other side and put them in over here. Now it kind of gets tricky right here because we can't put a hopper on that spot right there because there's going to be redstone going there. So we actually have to bring it one block out like that, and then we can fill in the rest of the hoppers just like that. While we're here, we might as well just put the redstone into place there. So now we should have all the hoppers into place and they should all be facing in these directions. The next step is to put an immovable block right on top of this dropper. I'm going to use a furnace just because the furnace is the cheapest non-movable block. Now when I say non-movable, like you can't push it with a piston and sticky pistons won't stick to it. Obsidian and also glazed terracotta will work as well. Go ahead and put a redstone torch on the side of that. Then we can put a repeater right here and then a repeater right there. So we have a power going into where the logs are going to grow. So now let's work on the platform where we're actually going to be standing. So what we can do is make a little platform right there, bring this down a little bit and make a little platform right here. Let's go ahead and put our on and off switch on this block right here, which means that we need to dig a little tunnel underneath here that goes all the way to this block right here. Now we just need to get our redstone, put the redstone underneath here, connect up that lever to this block over here. You can actually get rid of this lever now, and then what we do is switch this lever on, which actually turns the farm off. Now it's time for us to build the leaf crushers, and we're gonna build those 1, 2, 3 blocks away from the hoppers right here. Then we're gonna go 1 block up, and then that's where the first sticky piston is gonna be. So I can put another temporary block right here and put the other sticky piston right there. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and continue this up until we go 6 up. And 6. Double check to make sure all these pistons are put in place 2 blocks away, and then there's 6 of them going up after we skip the block right there. Now we can go ahead and take away those temporary blocks, and now we're going to put in a wall of slimes so that will be 5 wide, just like that. And then we're going to alternate slime blocks and honey blocks on these arms, so then we can put in our honey blocks just like this. So this is what the leaf crusher arm should look like at this point. Now what we need to do is fill in this leaf crusher with fence gates, but on all these slimes on this far left side, you need to put in a redstone block just like that. But then on all the other spots on the leaf crusher, we need to put fence gates and then open them. Now the leaf crusher arm should look like this. Now we need to mirror this on the other side. We're centering the farm around that dirt, and since these hoppers come out 2 more than this side does, we don't actually need to come out any blocks. We just start building up our piston wall or our leaf crusher at this height right there, and then we build this up 6 again. So if you want to double check, just make sure that there's 4 blocks in between the dirt and then the first piston of the leaf crusher. This is what the pistons should look like, and again, we're going to make the leaf crusher out of rotating honey blocks and slime blocks, and yes, you do need to use both honey blocks and slime blocks. The farm will break if you try to just use one or the other, sadly. I know it is a grind to get these honey blocks, but it is necessary to make this farm work. Now the wall or the leaf crusher should look like this, and then on every single block on this end, we are going to put an open fence gate. So the leaf crusher should look like that, and now we should have 2 different leaf crushers that look just like this, centered around the dirt in the middle. Now let's work on actually hooking this up to when a tree actually grows. So what we're going to do is put a sticky piston on the bottom part of that dirt with a redstone block right there. Now we're going to take an output 1 block away right there. Now we're going to take this with redstone, and then we're going to have one side of the output come over here and then go up to this arm, and then we're going to have another side of the output come over here and go up to this arm. So with the building blocks along the bottom, you want to go all the way up to the end of the double piston extender on this side, and then come up 1, have the redstone line come all the way over here, And then we're going to have a repeater going into this solid block right here. That block does need to be a solid block. And then we're going to start our glass staircase. To make the staircase, what you can do is put a temporary block here, put a piece of glass, then put a piece of glass on that side, then put another temporary block, and then piece of glass, and then temporary block, and then glass, and then temporary block, and then glass. Now, once we're up here, what we're going to do is we're going to put a furnace right there. We're going to put 2 building blocks and then 3 building blocks. We're going to put redstone, 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 and then repeater with 4 ticks, just like that. So full ticks, and then a repeater with 2 ticks, just like that. And then we're going to put redstone going down the glass staircase. I'm actually going to have to fall back down and scaffold back up, but we can take out these temporary blocks. And then we can just easily scaffold back up with any building block or even scaffolding if you have scaffolding. And then we're going to do the same thing with the furnace and then the building blocks. And we're going to do this on all the levels that have slime blocks on them. And then we're going to do the redstone again, and then a repeater with 4 ticks, a repeater with 2 ticks. And then we're going to do that finally on this floor once again. The same exact thing over again. Also, make sure that the glass staircase has the redstone going all the way down to the bottom down there. So now this whole arm should be all hooked up and ready to go, and we can test that by putting a lever right where this redstone block would be to simulate that a tree grew. We just push that, see if it extends both of the ways, and it does, and then see if it gets pulled back 2 times as well, and it does. So this arm is set up perfectly. Now we just need to set up the same thing on the other side. So let's go ahead and put the repeater going in there. We can have the redstone going into that. Make our glass staircase going all the way up to here. And then we can go ahead and put in each of the double piston extenders. Now that we have all the redstone in for the leaf crushers, let's go ahead and test it, make sure both sides work, and they do, and they both retract, and now we can move on to the next step. Next, go ahead and put some logs in on top of these hoppers because we do not want any of the leaf drops going into the hoppers where the bone meal is going to be. We want only bone meal going into this dispenser, so we're going to cover up all of those hoppers. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put a glass block right there, and then we're going to stack up 5 logs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. Another thing we need to do is scaffold up 8 blocks right here. And then on the 9th block, put a building block on top of there. You might want to spawn proof the top of this with something if you don't want mobs spawning up there. And then we can go ahead and take out all the scaffolding blocks. Now we put that there to control how tall the trees can grow. If we didn't put that there, we'd get the large oaks and it would break the farm. Now let's go ahead and put the double piston extender in the back of the farm. So I'm going to put temporary blocks down just like that. And then we're going to do the double piston thing once again. And we're going to build this up to be 6 high. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we can go ahead and take out these temporary blocks out the bottom. We actually need to move this lever one over to the side because we're going to need that block right there. We're going to put a repeater here that is at 3 delay, so it should look just like that. And then we're going to make another glass staircase on top of that that goes all the way up. That's going to send the signal into the double piston extender here. Once you make the glass staircase, then we need to put the redstone into place. And now that should be all of the redstone into place for all the double piston extenders. We can test it by pulling that just like that. We can see all the leaf crushers have extended fully. The double piston extender in the back has extended fully because it would push the logs out of the way of the dirt right there. And then let's double check to make sure everything gets retracted correctly. And it does. This pillar of logs is supposed to stay right there and not retract all the way. Now with all of the leaf crushers and the double piston extenders all in place, we need to hook up this timer right here over to this block right here, which is then going to put a timer into the dropper, which is going to shoot all of the leaf drops into the player AFKing right here. What we do is we just put these building blocks down right here and then put redstone on top of them. Also, the blinking redstone out the back here is going to update this piston. If you don't have the redstone blinking and running behind this piston, the farm will not work. I'm also just going to cover up this other redstone line just like that. Let's build this out one more just like this. Let's go ahead and build this up just like this. And this is going to be the start of our collection system. We're going to make it 5 wide. So 1, 2, 3, right? So like this is 5 and then just like that. So now it's 5 wide just like that. And then we're going to make it 8 long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to do that on the other side as well so that those match up. Now we need to put water sources all the way along the back here. And that is going to make all of the logs, once they're exploded, flow into hoppers that are going to be going this way. The output of this farm is actually so fast that we're gonna have to split it off into 2 different collection systems. One set of chests over here, one set of chests over there, and then we're gonna take out all of these blocks right here, and we're gonna click in 4 hoppers on that side and then 3 hoppers on that side, and then we can go ahead and close all of this off just like that. And now your collection system should look like this. Another thing I like to do is build up walls for this thing just to keep all of the leaf drops all in the middle so that they fall into the hoppers. So I'm going to go ahead and build up walls of leaves right here and then also on this side as well. And of course you got to leave room for the logs to come out when they're pushed forward through here. You can also do that on the back side right here. So 1, 2, 3 and just put a wall of leaves all the way up just so that we can collect as many of the leaf drops as we possibly can. Now it's time for us to work on the TNT duplicator, so we need to put down our piece of obsidian. So build up 2 blocks on top of that spot right there, and then our obsidian is going to go right there. Now we can take these temporary blocks out. So at this point what we need to do is get on top of the obsidian and then count up 12 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Once we get up here, then we're gonna make the TNT duplicator. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and make a little canal area for our TNT to actually align and then drop. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and go like that. So now we should have this little canal for the TNT to travel. Go ahead and put a gate right there, open that up, and then we're gonna put a water source in the back right there. Now we're gonna make an L shape with the slime blocks just like this, put a wall right there, make another of those same L shape just like that. We're gonna put a detector rail facing this way, make sure the detector rail is facing this way, and then put a minecart on top of it just like that. Now we can put a TNT block right here and then a coral fan right there. Now you can find any coral fan, it doesn't have to be a dead coral fan, you can find a living coral fan, any color, it doesn't matter. Put it right there. Just make sure you wait until it dies before you actually activate the machine. It's fine because they die pretty easily like that, but you do want a dead coral fan. And then we're going to build up the walls of the leaves a little bit just like that. Now we need the kind of parkour over here to the top of this slime block right here. Now we're going to build this out 2 blocks just like that. And then we're going to take away one of those blocks, put in our sticky piston just like that. We actually do need a piston on top of that sticky piston just because of redstone block updating. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build underneath this block right like this. And then we're going to build 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the 5th one, we're going to go up like that. Once we have this area up here, this is where we're going to make our hopper clock, which is going to control the TNT. Put 2 comparators facing away from each other in the middle like that. Put down a temporary block and then a hopper facing into the temporary block. Break the temporary block and then put a hopper facing into the other hopper. Put a redstone dust here, sticky piston on the side of the redstone dust. You gotta click right there, shift click that. It's kind of hard to get that one. Go ahead and put a redstone block in the middle there. Once you have all of this in and the hopper clock looks like this, do not put your items in yet because you will blow up your TNT duplicator. What you need to do is you need to get down back here, go ahead and just drop off the side, pillar back up and take out all of these temporary blocks that we used to pillar up here. You should take out all those blocks so that your TNT duplicator looks like this. Once you have the TNT duplicator all set up, we are not going to put the items in the hopper clock yet. We do not want this thing running. What we're going to do is we're going to come right here to this dispenser where we're going to AFK, and then we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks out this way. And And then we're gonna make a little staircase like that with our blocks. We're gonna connect over this redstone line right over here, just like this. And now we're going to make a redstone torch tower up to the TNT duplicator. So have your building blocks, they have to be a solid block, and your redstone torch is ready. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pillar up right next to this thing, and then we're gonna rotate redstone torch and then solid block all the way until we get to the top. Once you're up at the top here and your farm is off, which means that you can see redstone current down there, this top torch should be off at this point. You should also have 7 torches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if you want to double check to make sure you have the right amount. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a pathway from the top of that block over to the TNT duplicator. We're going to go ahead and put a block just like that, and then a redstone torch right there. And then we're gonna hook this all up with a redstone line. And then if you want to check to make sure your TNT duplicator is working, what you can do is remove the torch, put the torch back down, and then a piece of TNT should be duplicated and then fall down there. Since we now have this set up to be off, this makes it so that the TNT duplicator does not duplicate TNT. What we can do is we can come back up here, and then we can put in our items into their place in the hopper timer. So I recommend anywhere from 3 to 5 items in here. If you're on a server and it's laggy, I recommend like 5, 6 items. If you're not on a laggy server, you can get away with 3 if you want it really fast. I'm going to go ahead and put in 4 items because I found best results with 4 items. So just put your 4 items in there. It can be any item you want. Just make sure they stack up to 64. I'm just going to use oak saplings. Now all we need to do is add our bone meal into the farm, hook it up to a bone meal farm, whatever we want to do for the bone meal input, but the bone meal input is right here. Also, it would make a lot of sense to put more than just a double chest of bone meal here because you are going to need a lot of bone meal. I have plenty of bone meal in my farm now, and now all we have left to do is test it. So go ahead and turn the farm on, come over here, AFK, hold down right click, and watch the farm get you a ton of logs. I'm going to make both the world download and a schematic of this farm available. Links to both of those are down in the description of this video. My name is Dusty Dude. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely leave a like, and if you want to see more easy and efficient farms in the game Minecraft, definitely subscribe. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!